welcome back to a brand new video. My name is Jade and I help people reclaim back their power physically, mentally and spiritually. So today we're going to be talking about spiritual warfare. What is it? What can we do about it? And how to protect ourselves. So lately I've been getting a lot of requests from people asking how can they protect themselves from this very kind of chaotic, heavy energy that is currently going on Earth at the minute. So, of course, there is a war going on, and not the war that you're thinking of. There's actually a spiritual war going on. And this war has been going on for a very, very, very long time. And I'm trying to keep this as simple as possible, as it is quite deep and complex, but I'll tell you the absolute basics. But on Earth, it's important to remember that Earth is like the middle plane. Okay, so there are many different dimensions, but there are 7 dimensions above us and 7 dimensions below us, and Earth is in the middle. So the planes that are above us are the higher realms. So these are, you know, what you may want to brand as heaven. They're the heavenly realms. So they're basically different dimensions of reality that your consciousness can go to and access to, whether it's dead or alive. These are the places you want to go to when you die, basically, or go back to source entirely, where you came from. However, there are also lower dimensions. So there are 7 lower planes of existence. So these are the lower frequency realms. So this what, you know, may be branded as the hell realms. These are the dark realms. These are the ones that vibrate at a very low frequency, below Earth's frequency. So they're basically the opposite. And this is why people say as above, so below. So basically, Earth is the middle ground. And this is why you see in Masonic places, a lot of the times they'll have the checkerboard flooring, black and white. This is what this represents, okay? Because Earth is the balance between both. Unfortunately, though, the darker realms are trying to overtip the balance. They want to take it into their own hands and take it into a very low vibrational place. So this is why we have this battle between, you know, good and evil going on. And it's not entirely true what the Christians say. It kind of has some truth in it, the Bible and Christianity, but it's so much more complex and so much deeper than, you know, what they believe. And this isn't a dig at them. I'll do a video on that in the future, but it's important to note that you are in the playing field between the 2 realms. And this is what it means, that you can you have the power to either create hell in your life or heaven. So you do have that creative ability. So you don't have to stay a victim to your circumstances. You can always choose to change the energy and the frequency around you. However, it can be extremely difficult and complicated, especially when things like past life karma comes into play, when, you know, the elites get up to no good and they're sending out mass low vibrational frequencies, because this is basically what they're doing. So since the dawn of time, but especially in the last 50 years or so, since technology has advanced again in this era, they have been trying their absolute best to send out really, really low toxic vibrational frequencies and to brainwash you, to get into your subconscious brain. So there is, you know, different beings that inhabit Earth that are interdimensional, that are even extraterrestrials, okay? So we're going to get deep on this video and I'll try to keep it as simple as possible, but I know this can sound like something out of a sci-fi movie, but I promise you it's true. This is what I believe to be true and what my own experiences and years of research have pointed to. But essentially, there are definitely interdimensional beings of a low vibration and a high vibration. However, there is a certain law that they can't intervene. They can't go against the law of free will, because every single human being, every soul that is on Earth, that is alive, has free will. It's the law of free will. But what they can do instead is influence you. This is why we live in the age of influencers right now. So they can't force you to do something, but they can certainly influence you to do something. And this is where like demonic beings come in, negative entities, etc. So there's a very dark elites cult cabal, whatever you want to label them as, that have been controlling the earth, controlling the world. We all know who they are. And they're doing everything in their power through dark magic, black magic, cultic rituals, etc. to get what they want, which is basically full draconian control over your complete being, mind, body, and even your soul. So, of course, this is very bad and dangerous. However, you do have the power to protect yourself from this, and you do have the power to overthrow them. They're not as powerful as you think they are. So this is where the light comes in, and why it's so essential right now to really dedicate your life and your whole self to the light, to light energy, to really do the work to transmute your whole energy into a frequency of love, genuine love, not fake hippie love, genuine love. And that's hard, but it can be done through shadow work and intense emotional inner child healing as well. However, there are more practical things that you can do to protect yourself from this energy. So once you understand occultism and witchcraft and spell work, etc., you know how these dark beings try to influence you. You will learn and see what they do, their tricks of how to get into your mind. So they know that our brains are like computers. So human brains are computers that can be hacked. So this is what essentially possession is them hacking into your brain, your subconscious, to tune you into a very dark frequency. So you need to understand energy and waves of energy. So you can be on certain levels of energy and frequency and vibration. And it's very important, like a radio, you tune yourself to a frequency that is good for you, that serves you, where you'll be healthy, happy and peaceful in general. Of course, you'll still have problems in life, but your dormant energy will be very peaceful. It's basically the true essence of a dark energy is chaos, and the opposite to that is peace. So the higher beings, the higher realms of frequency, they're very peaceful, loving, and then the opposite of that is chaotic apathy, basically. So this is why you have to sync to that vibration. This is what raising your frequency means, and the best protection is prevention. So the best way to protect yourself from this spiritual warfare by being dragged into it and getting included in it are going to be explained in the next few steps. So number one is you must raise your frequency. And I made an older video on this, so please refer back to that. I'll tag it here, but please raise your frequency. There are certain steps that I myself have done that have massively helped me in my life and my past. So you really have to dedicate yourself to a whole lifestyle change, essentially. But number two is spiritual hygiene. So really take a note of what you're consuming. And this means not just the foods that you eat. So radically change your diet to as natural as possible, because the Matrix has brainwashed people to count calories and not chemicals. Because chemicals in the food, toxins and the water, this is what will massively drag you down, especially water. I can't stress that enough, how important it is to be drinking clean water, as clean as possible, that has got no fluoride in it. So I myself have a Kangen machine. DM me on Instagram if you're interested and we'll get in a Kangen machine. However, I don't, they are very expensive, so please bear that in mind. If you can't afford a Kangen machine, a very high top water filter that 100% gets rid of fluoride. Then the next best thing is obviously drinking water from glass bottles. And if you still, and money's tight at the minute, if you can't do that, then the next best thing will be drinking just from plastic bottles. Just getting bottled water, basically. Evian, if you're in the UK, is one that I stuck to because I know that's an alkaline water. So make sure it's no lower than a pH of 7. You want to be drinking alkaline water. But not too alkaline. Don't be drinking 11 pH because that's too alkaline. Because if you're not drinking clean water, if you're drinking fluoride, it's going to calcify your pineal glands. And your pineal gland is your third eye. It's the gland in your brain. It looks like a little pine cone, and it basically crystallizes if it's been drinking fluoride. So there's many things that you can do to help decalcify it, but the number one thing is to cut all fluoride out, including toothpaste. It is not good for your teeth. That is a lie. So basically fluoride was actually invented by Nazis, believe it or not. So they wanted people to be submissive and controllable when they were brought into camps. So they thought, what can we do to make these people submissive and more calm and stop trying to escape and fight us all the time? Oh, we're going to poison their water. So yeah, that's where fluoride comes from. There's a whole deep rabbit hole, but please do your research on that. And don't go on Google, because Google always lies, okay? Always research things on DuckDuckGo. But another thing you need to be aware of is what you are watching on TV. So do not watch the news about all these bullshit things that are plaguing the world. Don't get caught up in the drama, because it is an illusion. It is their illusion. All of that is pre-predictive programming. So what these elites do is basically black magic, because they know that they can't create, but we can. So every single human being has the capacity to create their own reality through what they believe and their subconscious brain, as long as it's in the laws of the universe as well. So there's definitely laws within the universe that I'll do a video on in the future. However, you do have the ability to create certain realities for yourself. And this is what they know, because they can't create. They have to use you basically as a filter to manifest their realm of darkness and suffering and pain, and that empowers them. So they're using you to create hell on earth, essentially. So this is why do not watch the news. Do not watch really dark films, even films that are like draconian and apocalyptic, you know, things that they want to manifest in the future. Don't be watching or listening to dark music videos, especially music videos. They're filled with occult symbols. Music videos are a very powerful method that they use to brainwash, especially the youth, younger people, especially artists like Justin Bieber. Billie Eilish is an awful one, Katy Perry, all those sort of poppy, you know, trendy people, they're the worst. So be very careful to just don't listen to that music. Even their music itself is on 440 hertz, which is a frequency that makes you more depressed, angry. It lowers your vibration basically. So listen to high vibrational music, 432 hertz, etc. Because everything has a vibration. So if you're constantly listening to that music every single day, you're lowering your own frequency. And this is why they do it. This is why they put it out there. And all these types of things open you up to demonic control, to negative beings latching themselves onto you, etc. To controlling your thoughts. Is what are thoughts? Basically, they're waves of frequency. So your thoughts aren't always your own. A lot of the time they're coming from external places. And this is why it brings me to number 3, is truly dedicate yourself to a spiritual practice. So again, with raising your own frequency, you really need to dedicate yourself to a spiritual practice, especially at this time. And that is basically doing everything. It's not just having a little morning routine of meditation and yoga and all that stuff and eating clean, but it's really doing the inner work. It's really doing shadow work. I have a video on that, so check that out. But it's shadow work and learning to be an alchemist. So you can learn how to transmute energy from negative to positive is so essential for protecting yourself, because then you are not a vibrational match to it anymore. You are not a vibrational match. So you cannot worry. So do not worry about the future and all that shit. You basically can't live in a state of fear. Because when you fear something, you're giving it more power over you. So the only way to overpower something and to be empowered is to be in a state of love, is to live in a frequency of love, genuine love and light. So this doesn't include toxic positivity, because with love and living in a high vibration comes setting healthy boundaries, for example. So it really is just tuning yourself and theming your life of being a warrior of love, essentially. So you have to have the balance between light, love and fierceness as well. and regularly always saying that I claim back all my energy from every single being in the universe, so mote it be. So always claim back your energy, and always breaking negative energy as well, always banishing negative energy. So just get into a habit of doing these things, and really noticing, you know, what your triggers, your traumas, because your trauma is the number one way that these negative beings can get into you. It's a gateway. It's especially like, it's like in the new Stranger Things, if you've seen that. I think Stranger Things is really cool. There's a lot of truth in it. But basically in the in season 4, with Vecna, that demon that hunts down and kills the teenagers, that's true. Obviously not as dramatized and physical, but him finding people with trauma, that is true. This is what they do in real life. So these beings you will be a magnet if you have trauma inside you. So there are 2 ways to getting attacked by demonic beings or possessed. And it's number 1, if you have trauma. Number 2 is if you were just a very evil person. Actually, there's 3 ways. Number 3 is if you do occultic practices foolishly, if you are always doing a Ouija board, if you're trying to summon a demon, basically if you open a gateway by accident. So there are 3 ways to let them in, but the number 1 way is always trauma, especially sexual trauma, because that is a direct gateway in a woman's womb. So this is why it's so important to let go of the past, to do what you can to heal your nervous system, your subconscious brain, to really learn how to alchemize that pain into love. And this comes with numerous steps. There isn't just one thing that will heal you. It will be a process. It can take months, years, normally years, okay? I'm still healing from traumas from my childhood. So it takes a long time. It's not going to get done in a weekend or one retreat or whatever. It will take time to heal. But it's like peeling an onion layer, okay? It's like peeling layers of an onion. And eventually you're going to get back to your core. Eventually you're going to get back and be centered again. So it's different for everyone. It really depends what you've gone through, what you've endured, what's still lingering within you. But this is the number 1 way to really protect yourself and have a high vibration on planet Earth right now. So if you do want one-to-one help, I do offer oracle card readings where I really do help people get to the root of what their main traumas are, and what they can do to really help transmute and heal them. So if you're interested in that, I will link it down in the description box below. I also have a free third eye ebook to really help decalcify your third eye. I will link that also down below, and other ebooks that you can choose from. Until next time, my loves, please like and subscribe this video and click the notification bell so you don't miss future uploads. Sending you lots of love, lots of light. Ahimsa.